Okay. We might be live. We might be live. Oh, I can hear my own voice. That's a bad start. We might be live. But I at least now know that I am in fact live. Although that was probably not the best way to find out. But it's my first time doing this, at least on this account. So there was always going to be some mishaps along the way. So yeah, good evening, or afternoon, or morning, depending on where in the world you may be. It's Coded Prose stream on a Wednesday. And we've got an interesting one. Echo Dog Games, I think, is the developer, and Signs of the Sojourner. That's the pronunciation I'm going with. I've heard Sojourner, I've heard Sojourner, Sojourner. It's one of those words that I'm pretty sure no matter which way I try and pronounce it, that way is going to be wrong. So perhaps I don't even need to try that hard. Who knows? I think it's a lot easier when it's right there on the screen, to be fair. Oh, I've not done this in a long time. Where's that Twitch thing? Here's that Twitch thing. Okay, technical things out of the way. So yeah, I was keen to play this game for a while now. It's one of those that I've heard through on the grapevine on Twitter for probably since it came out. And I enjoy any game that's about communication, which to my understanding this game is. And it kind of has a deck building card game element to it as well. And I'm really intrigued as to how that's going to work as a game. So let's get into it. I think all these settings make sense. Begin story. A childhood spat. The worst fight you and Elias ever had was over a strange locket in Mom's desk. Curiosity got the best of you, but Elias was afraid of getting in trouble. Your mom's collected so much cool stuff in here. How many towns has she visited now? That's Elias. Okay. So I believe what we're supposed to do is, at the top here we kind of have what our character is saying to the other person, and then okay, the tutor is going to bring it up. Drag and drop cards onto the placemat to play them, and I think we want to basically connect these things up, I believe. So logical triangle is logical and diplomatic, circle is empathetic and observant. Okay, so and all our cards are the exact same one. Okay, and then they play a card back at us, so turn-based. So we play another circle here. And there we go. Seems simple enough. Completing a sequence will earn a grey square. Mismatch will earn a black square. When all grey squares or black squares have been earned, the conversation will end. Click on speech bubbles to view previous dialogue. Let's play Caravaneers, just like her. You be the driver, I'll be the navigator. Okay, so we go back to the start. So basically we need to get more of these than those. Wait, hang on, you should look at the desk. She's gonna be mad. Is that a locket? I've never seen your mom wear a locket. I'll be very intrigued if we never really hear our side of the conversation, we just kind of play the cards and assume that whatever is said is said. And again, these are all... okay. So we have a circle. So I wonder what happens if we played that, considering we're always being replied to with logic. This is what happens, we're going to have a mismatch. Okay, so... okay. You're not listening, we shouldn't be snooping. Okay, so if we have a mismatch in the kind of, I guess, the tone of what we're trying to say, then the conversation breaks down. Why do we go into stuff like this? Put it back before we get caught. That fight could have ended. Oh wow, I'm struggling to read. That fight could have only ended how it did. You and Elias talked past each other. Sometimes Mom said it's fine not to get along, but that time she stepped in to mediate. You two, what are you doing in here? I'll need to leave soon. The caravan's almost here. Come say goodbye. I know we're children, but our Mom is tall. So tall. What are you even fighting about? Okay, so there's 4 black squares, 2 grey squares. So let's make this connect. So it looks like, same as Elias, our mother likes to respond with logic. That's a very satisfying sound. It's okay to not always understand each other. One miscommunication doesn't have to end a friendship. Let me help you figure this out. If you get a little lost, think about how he's reacted in the past, how you've been able to connect and get past your differences. Okay, so I like how this is working in terms of both the story and how it works. So Elias was always responding with logic, so I guess to tie that together as best we can, let's leave a logic slot open at the end. I'll reply with that. Cool. So we're definitely, yeah, so we need to listen to each other. Not all disagreements have to be the end of your friendship. Listen to each other, see if you can find the common ground. It's really nice sound design. I mean, the music is very nice and relaxing. Hopefully that's coming through at a decent volume. But I also just like the kind of success music is just very nice. Kind of just like a step below shrill. Mum steps in. You'd think back on that fight years later, after Mum passed on, when it came time to step into her shoes. 15 years later. Farewells. It's your first time back inside Mum's old store since the funeral. All told, she didn't leave much. She was always on the road, and what she brought back sold fast. Elias runs his hand down an empty shelf before clearing his throat. He does not look that much grown up after 15 years. Elias, you feel it too, don't you? The, weirdness of being in here without your mom. Can't seem to wrap my head around her being gone. My bad. Now I'm the one making things weird. Okay, so this looks like the same setup. I guess I'll take this one and just say, like, I really love this art style. The way it's drawn, like, it's still very easy to visually interpret, but it doesn't have a sharp cleanness to it that I already get the sense just wouldn't fit in with what this game's trying to do. I like that. Okay. So let's, I'm going to assume that Elias is still being logical and diplomatic. And go along that way. You haven't changed at all, Elias. Yeah, you're right. She wouldn't want us to dwell. I gotta clear up. After all, she always looked so pleased when she was here. Making people smile, giving them samples of cool new stuff, even if they were broke. Even if they were broke, rather. I think it might just have been her favourite place. She'd be so happy to see the two of us taking over the store like this. You out there on the open road and me, keeping an eye on here. Keeping an eye on things here, which is totally just as exciting. Not that I mind, of course. Being stuck out there in the caravan would drive me crazy. Look at this nice swoosh. I guess that shows you that you're supposed to click on, but it's just nice to watch. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a new one in our deck that I haven't seen before, where we can reply logical, but still leave it open for him to reply logical as well. So let's try that. Let's experiment. Oh right, I see. That just causes a disconnect straight away. My bad. Elias, you nervous about leaving home? Me too. And I'm not even the one leaving. So let's just complete this in the same way we've been completing them. I really like this timeline. That, although it ends that particular streak of the conversation, it doesn't end the conversation, it just carries on. That was just a bad moment in it, or an awkward moment. Elias. Oh, there's the caravan now, right on schedule. The leader, Nadine, runs a tight ship, but I don't trust her. I hear she's planning to drop the town from the caravan route. That'd be real bad for Barto. Hey, while you're out there, maybe you can change your mind. Our deck has only given us empathy. Oh, accommodate. Accommodate duplicates both symbols of the previous card. So I guess that's a special card that Elias has in their deck. Accord. Created when you and the other person each play one card, connecting 4 of the same symbol in a row. Accord will protect your progress when a mismatch is made. Okay, so there's a reason to try and do that, because it's kind of like a shield for the conversation. And yeah, let's just end the way that we know things like to go with Elias. No matter what, you're going to do great. I bet you'll come back with a bunch of cool stuff. You packed everything you need, right? Socks? If the truck breaks down there, you don't have socks. It's all over. Don't worry about this place. It's in good hands. Take care of yourself out there. Farewells. You'll miss Elias too and wish you didn't have to leave so soon. You've planned this trip for a while, but it only started to feel real in the last few hours. The store needs 3 new products. Okay, so this is the deck building element. So choose a card from experience to gain. So we can gain logic in, empathetic out, empathetic in and out, and accommodate. And okay, so we have to pick a card, and we have to remove a card. That's interesting. Normally you get the choice to just keep your deck as it is. So we only have... I suppose we'll probably want to diversify the kind of things we can do with our deck. So I'm going to get rid of a double empathy and put in an accommodate. Accommodate seems powerful. Although it feels very weird to talk about powerful cards in this kind of game. Home. Barto. Quiet enough to hear the grasshoppers rub their wings together at dawn and the crickets at dusk. You know the name, nickname and favourite colour of every person in town. It's past time to leave for a spell. So Nadine, the resolute leader of the caravan. So Nadine is also logical and diplomatic and empathetic and observant. Elias is working a shift at the roadhouse. So... okay, so we can either just move on and start the trip straight away, or it looks like we have an opportunity to talk to Nadine first. So I'm going to talk to Nadine. Follow close. Almost a dozen vehicles sputter down Bartow's dirt roads. Their engines once signalled Mom's imminent departure, as well as her return. Nadine, sitting on the running board of her truck cab, gestures for your attention. I trust you have sufficient provisions for the route. Our first stop will be Pachenko, the artist's colony. There's a little notebook thing here saying that Nadine mentioned a place from Mom's stories, which is this Pachenko place we're going to. Be alert. Reptiles cross Thunder Lizard Road to their heart's content. You don't want your guts on the windshield. Okay, so it looks like we have a notebook where we're just learning a bunch of stuff about the wider world. Okay. So we know Nadine's deck is all triangles and circles. The way she seems to talk is very logical, so I'm gonna try and do the same thing as I did with Elias. Let's try that again. Okay. Didn't fuck it up on the first go. My condolences for your loss. Your mum and I had our differences, but I respected her all the same. See, this is really interesting to me that we don't know what we're saying. Like, we know that a general thing that we're posting across is that we're responding to empathy. I know the way I'm interpreting this is that a card ends in empathy for us most of the time, and then we play a card that's kind of starts with empathy and ends with logic. So I don't know if I kind of... the way I'm reading that is that we acknowledge and accept the empathetic words we're being given and put logic outwards. I'm not sure. It's an interesting take on it, because it kind of like, how do you go from, hey, here's some shit that's going to happen in the outside world, to talking about your dead mother. It's an interesting one. There's a lot of interpretation to be had there. Before the caravan heads out, we need to talk. Unless you turn the store around and keep it well stocked, the caravan will have to drop Bartow from the route. So yeah, this is what I mean, is like... does us starting here kind of like start our response to that being like, oh, I understand that your business needs commerce here to function and you need that to live. And then we end on something logical like, you know, what do you need for me to do that, or how can we work together on those goals? Uh-oh. I know it's hard to hear all this right now. Okay, so we had a bit of a mismatch there. Let's just stick with what we're doing. Logical still seems the right... although I guess she's trying to be empathetic with us, so maybe we double empathy it. And then we get our little chain, so we can have one more scrub. So, I'm going to try that again. Okay, cool. Without the store in good shape, it doesn't make sense for the caravan to stop here. Awful waste of resources. I probably don't have to spell it out to you that this would be bad for Bartow. I know you'll depend on the traffic. It's not my choice, not entirely. I make the final call, but I'm beholden to the caravan members and their needs. Believe it or not, Barto would be dropped already if I didn't owe your mom a favour. I argued on your behalf. It's interesting how this relates to the cards, because she's clearly very businesslike, but there is a certain amount of empathy there. So I guess we need to kind of respond to what we're being told. And it looks like the kind of accord carries over during a conversation timeline, so that's neat. I guess the conversation is kind of a tone where we're both being sympathetic to each other's needs. It might not sound like it, kid, but I'm in your corner. My hands are tied with this. I want to see you succeed. Nothing about the situation is good, but Nadine probably isn't to blame. You thank her for the info. Oh man, we got some good music in this game. It's really chill. I wonder if we'd have mismatched by being logical, if this conversation like goes worse because that comes across as not being sympathetic to the fact that Nadine is trying to do us a favour. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get another empathetic one gone. We only have one of these agree logical, respond empathetic. Still really don't know how to define these cards and what they represent. Okay, let's move on. Profiles. Okay, so these are people we can meet. Looks like we're going to be meeting a lot of people. So I've had one concordant conversation with both of these people, and this represents where they are. Cards. This is... okay, so this is our deck. These are the skills we have. Items, none. Calendar, none. So it looks like we've got 5 trips, and this is the first of 5. It's a really good UI. It kind of really does have that journal sense to it. It's kind of rugged. Feels like it fits with the rest of the game. It's not easy to do with UI. Ah, this map's gorgeous as well. You can just imagine having something like this pinned on your door, thinking the places you want to go. Okay, Pachenko, a community that talks in circles and triangles, a thriving arts community on the high plateau. A painter with a disposition of a small nervous calf. What exactly is that disposition? Pachenko, a twisty canyon road. The twisty canyon roads leading to Pachenko would send a green traveller in circles. A rundown vehicle has trouble with the last slope up to the plateau, but Nadine leaves no one behind. Okay, so this is day 5 already. Let's speak to Thomas. The artist stall. Thomas sits demurely, surrounded by paintings that depict fruit, trees, and most prolifically, a calico cat rendered in the finest detail. Each portrait is signed with an illegible flourish, different each time. So I wonder if we're kind of talking to Thomas as a way to get items for our store. Let the crowds fade as you inhabit the lacunae inside each piece. I'll be quiet as you converse with the art. I hope you like it. Oh, I need to provide a statement. Okay, so Thomas definitely seems nervous. So let's try. I would ideally respond with empathy. Into empathy, so I guess we just have to see how this goes. Okay, good, good. Yes, if it ain't broke. Okay, cool. Still got a good track record on first impressions. That piece is called Self-Portrait Number 5. I felt such an affinity with the tree depicted. It's a good tree. Look at his little smile. Or their little smile, rather. He seems so pleased that we like it. Although this has made me think of the Lou Vega song Mambo Number 5. How does it make you feel when you stare at the branches? That was not my intention at all, but at least it elicited a reaction from you. I will probably throw that piece in the trash. Okay, this is someone who definitely needs some empathy. And has been responding to logic, but, and again, I interpret this as how we take what's being said to us on the left and what we then convey on the right. So I want to convey empathy to Thomas. Oh, what did he do? Clarify. Can be inserted between any valid match or played normally. Okay, and that gives us our little chain. That gives us our an accord. So I still think it's all empathy that works here. Yeah, guy's clearly nervous. Let's be nice to him. Oh, you like that one? Let me wrap that for you. Safe and secure on your travels. My first sale this month. I'm having my first art show next month. You could come if you like. Oh man. I feel this person's pain immensely. The artist stall. Every compliment on Thomas's artwork is a drop in a bottomless bucket. Who knows if you'd do anything for his self-esteem, but the painting is nice. And then he invited us to his show next month. So I guess that's gonna pop up in our calendar? Ah, this calendar has 50 days. I guess we'll find out how that works later. Okay, well I'm going to take this Clarify card, because that seems like a very useful ability. Still not fully sure I understand how to use it, but I'll swap out for a regular double empathy. Thomas, he's trying to avoid eye contact. We can talk to Nadine again, who's admiring some of the public art. Among artists, Nadine contemplates a cast bronze sculpture of a frill-necked lizard, whose head has been replaced with a man's vacant features. She rubs her chin for a while, chewing on some thoughts. You handled those steep hills and inclines well. The caravan's next stop will be Clifton, the market town. The road we take is prone to landslides. Ride close. If I can't see your truck, I can't protect you. So yeah, I think again, I'm reading this as we respond empathetically by kind of understanding that Nadine's intentions are good, and we reply logically because that seems to be how Nadine thinks. Ooh. She double logicked us. I think I'm going to accommodate. I feel like if we respond with empathy, that won't work. Oh, never mind. Broke our accord. I think it doesn't matter what we put here now, so... Your mum. She had a lot of history here in Pachenko. Many friends, I believe. She always loved the licorice. He admired a sculpture of Nadine in companionable silence for a moment, imagining how Mom must have found herself in an identical situation many, many times over the years. I do kind of wish the deck was ordered a bit better, so I can see how many of certain things I have. I'm going to get rid of empathy. We've got a lot of empathy response, or empathy out logic. I really don't know how to codify those, but I'll go for a double logic. Okay, Nadine is driving, Thomas is being awkward, so on to the next town. Clifton. I bet it's going to be on a cliff. It's interesting that these journal entries trail off. I really like how these symbols represent when we've been told interesting things. Like, again, it kind of has that diary journal theme of just jotting things down and doodling as you think about it. We've got one item, so off to Clifton. Yeah, empathetic first, logical next. So I guess we want to respond with circle triangle. Fatigue. Gain fatigue over time as you travel. Returning home and unpacking your items will remove it. Fatigue cannot match with any symbols. Okay, so I guess that's just like... I am an introvert and I am sick of talking to people and I cannot be fucked. I mean, of all the games like this that have tried to represent having a really crap thing in your deck, that's probably been the most narratively interesting so far. Clifton. Every turn down the streets of Clifton seems to reveal another mountain in the distance, another horizon. Nadine doesn't stop for sightseers though. You watch for pedestrians as the caravan rolls down. It looks like first on the docket is Ramir, a man from the caravan. He looks familiar. Who is empathy logic. A familiar face. You know his name, Ramir. He grew up in Bartow, travelled with the caravan, turned from neighbour to visitor. He's sitting off the hood of a car the same way he used to sit off his porch way back in the day. First time in a caravan, ain't it? Hope your mom taught you the ropes. It's not easy out here. I remember my first time. Pachenko, Clifton, Bukamboro. A whirlwind of new experiences. Just keep you cool. The road to Bukambora shreds a lots of tyres. Don't panic if it all goes to hell. I really never know how to pronounce fake names in video games. Because being English, the kind of football brain in my head tells me that should be Bukambora. Ooh, yeah. The background music in this area slaps. Oh, yeah, let's say Ramir's definitely been logical and diplomatic, so let's try and accommodate that. Cool, and now we have an accord, so we should get through this conversation fine. Observe. Reveals the other person's hand when played. Okay, that's really cool. So you can see what cards they're working with. So, because I guess we haven't talked about this. The fact that they have a deck as well means that sometimes they're just going to have a hand that means they can't respond to you, right? But I assume their deck kind of represents their personality. And all the people from Barto seem to be like empathetic and logical for the most part. So you know there's always a chance they're going to kind of link together. And with this, you can just make sure that they are going to have an actual response to it. It's a neat one. Remember, everyone you meet on the road is out here for a reason, and most won't tell you what that is. Don't believe every word that comes out of someone's mouth, even if they're nice. Especially if they're nice. So grumpy. I always respected your mom. She thrived out here, completely irrelevant. A shark if I ever knew one. Just because she had friends on the road doesn't mean you do. You don't inherit connections. Okay, so Ramir can see our entire hand, so I guess observe counts for the entire conversation. We only have one possible response here, so... Okay, well, we have to break this accord anyway, but I guess I'll make it easy for him to respond with logic, given that seems to be his makeup. Oh. Well, shit. Don't be so naive. Everyone out here's got an angle. It's on you to figure it out. So yeah, it's one of these, again, like, because we don't know what our character's saying, we have to kind of fill in the gaps. So there I'm just going to assume we've said something like, oh no, you know, if people love my mom, they'll probably be nice to me, or something along those lines. Final conversation. He seems to have a weird mix. He's setting us up to play one of our empathy cards, but I guess we'll still try this. Okay. Well, I don't want to play fatigue, so I guess I'm going to stick this in here. Nice. Didn't fuck it up. Wait a minute. It took your mom years to build her network. It'll take you time too. I don't want to see you ruin what she made. You nod along to Ramir's advice. He glances over every so often to make sure you're paying attention, which seems to satisfy him. I'm definitely taking the observation card and just kind of upgrading our normal card. It's definitely, I think it's really interesting that you're always forced to take something on and forced to get rid of something. I think it kind of shows that you're starting out on this journey and you're learning and you're gaining knowledge of the world. Nadine is helping a caravan member replace a tyre. Ramir doesn't have time for us, so Klaus is watching travellers walk past. Vendors in Clifton compete to make the grandest promises, deliver with the loudest, most tenacious voice. For every woe, there's a product that can fix it. Klaus, on the other hand, is quiet, barely audible beneath the crowds. You must be of that caravan. Hello to you, traveller. Safety in numbers, is that? Very wise. I'm a humble peddler of roasted nuts. Don't you enjoy those, traveller? Who does not? Life's simple pleasures. Wants us to have some nuts. Well, I'm very accommodating of nuts. Okay. Got our accord built in. Feels like just continuing to be logical is sensible. This is a very business-like transaction. We're being friendly, we're being diplomatic. But don't tell anyone. If everyone knew I sell roasted nuts, they'd buy them up. None left for you. We can share a secret, can't we? You and I. Just a little information, a mere factoid, kept safe between us. What are you up to, Klaus? She's got this little smirk that I really enjoy. Perhaps you might even trust me with your own secrets. You know so much about me, and I so little about you. Scandalous! I love when games do wibbly text, like Night in the Woods is great for that as well. Just whimsical. Well, we can't really observe yet, so let's try this. Okay, double empathy. I think we can observe now. Okay. So actually Klaus, she has a lot of adjoining empathy, which I would not have expected. If someone inquires after these roasted nuts, simply laugh, smile, and toss a delicious handful into your mouth. Let me know if the game audio gets quieter, because I'm just turning it down on my side, but hopefully that doesn't turn it down for you, because the music's good, it's just a little loud in my headset. Klaus makes purchasing a simple bag of roasted nuts feel like a clandestine operation. You promise to keep his secrets, whatever those are. That's our second item for the store. We're definitely getting to that point where I really don't know how, like, I feel like I want as many options in the deck as possible. So I think I'm just going to get another double logic in there, because we don't have... No, actually I guess we have an equal amount of logic left. If we do this, then we'll have enough. Okay. We've talked to everyone, and we'll move on. Hey! A simple detour. The bright, unobstructed sun over Clifton powers up the truck quicker than usual. Uninvited, Ramir opens your passenger side door and hops inside. What a rude man. Got a proposition. The caravan usually gets around to anchor last, but I've got something to take care of there. Okay, looks like we don't have much room for error on this one. So Ramir was broadly quite logical, so let's be accommodating. Okay, we've got an accord, so we're going to get through this. And you can observe our hand as well, so you set us up for a triangle. Damn it, Ramir. It's a good job we had that accord. It's that whole business with the railroad. Got a lot of folks working to get the train back in operation. Whenever something like that goes on, there's money to be made. And I don't mean from manual labour. No thanks. Well, both our options are the same here. And yeah, we're still limited, so... Okay. That worked. The place the caravan goes next, Bukamboro, is a nowhere town. Less folks than Bartow. Serious. Definitely hatching a plan. All the endless junk. All the endless junk oh wow. All the endless junk for sale in Anchor would impress the homebodies back in Bartow. Worth your time. Well, I mean, he can see what we're playing, so maybe it makes sense that he'd want us to do that. I guess it builds up the Accord as well. Now we can clarify as well. Nice. Perfect conversation. Hey, it might even be fun. The road from here goes on forever, feels like. I could tell you all kinds of stories. It's interesting how... I wonder if the game responds to what kind of conversation you have. Like, not just whether it's successful or not, but what kind of symbols you're using. Like, it feels like we had like a very empathetic last part of that conversation, and this feels like someone who's loosening up around us when they talk like this. You don't have to decide right now, just think about it. 2 Bartowers on the road, having an adventure. It seems Ramir really wants to stop by Anchor. It would be good to do him a favour for another Bartower. Okay, now Ramir is with us. For our journal we heard about Anchor, we learned about the road from Clifton to Anchor. We have to separate from the caravan. Would that upset Nadine? I think it would, considering Nadine is taking us on this as a favour. So we're going to piss somebody off. Definitely getting another Observe card, because that seems... Observe seems like it's going to be the most powerful way to have a sensible conversation. Okay. So I guess we've got our own car. I kind of feel like Ramir's got some sort of angle that may not be to our best benefit. And I kind of feel like Nadine has been pretty open. In that she's really giving us a chance here, so I don't want to piss her off. So I think I'm going to continue on to Buchanborough. Another circle triangle. Anchor is triangle square, direct and forceful. Yeah, Ramir wants to be dropped off here. Maybe leaving the caravan is a good idea. We might have another chance to get to Anchor later on. Not sure. Okay. Either way, I'm going to take a short break before we go to Buchanborough. Get myself a cup of tea and take a short break. However, I did not prepare any sort of like going on break thing. I don't know if I can figure that out quickly. But I think I may have just figured it out. Uh-oh. I mean, you can probably see that the text has appeared, but it's massive. Ooh, I get to pick a font. That looks like it's now too small. Oh god. Okay, going on break for about 5 minutes. and thinking about how I'm going to have to edit this out of the VOD. Okay, let's delete these pro graphics. Let's go to Bucambara. This font's really interesting. Just gonna jump back into this talking about font. One thing I've learned from my husband is that a lot of fonts are just made by someone just drawing the text. And this looks like it's one that's been drawn and then kind of formatted to be used as a font. And I think that's really cool. Resting on the roof of your truck one evening, you browse through some of Mum's old notes. You can recall her stories about the road or put them aside. I don't know why we wouldn't recall them. Mum always loved visiting Pachenko and reconnecting with old friends. Thinking of her, you feel some of your fatigue melt away. We get to remove a fatigue card. Nice. Our deck is clear of nonsense once more. The vehicle rolls to a stop. Ramir hops out and retrieves his rucksack from the truck bed. He drums his knuckles on your window until you roll it down and talk to him. He's gonna be pissed. He looks pissed. Pal, where are you even headed? We're farther away from Anchor. Sheesh. I'm gonna find another ride. Huh, so some of these are just crossed out. So I guess this means it's going to be a very short conversation. I mean, this is the only response is understand logic, respond empathetic. Okay. Don't sweat it. I know you're new to the road or whatever. Still, don't make promises you can't keep. You'll make it up to Ramir sometime. When or how, who knows. Favours are useful to have on the road. Oh man, is that banjo? And the music in this game is so good. I really love this art on this like little column here of the flowers. I think this is the kind of game that really shows that you really don't need to use fancy polished graphics all the time. I'll take another observation card. Bucamboro. A red-tailed hawk perches on the dormant railroad tracks above Bucamboro, gulping down the lizard. The few vendors in town wait outside their stores, windows cleaned and sidewalks swept. They count on the caravan's arrival. Nadine is enjoying a bowl of matcha, much like I would like to do right now. And then there's Matilda. Matilda. So Matilda is primarily empathetic, followed by logic, and we know Nadine's more logical, but there's a nice edge to her. Let's talk to someone new. Matilda's business resides in a low, earth-cooled house, the first floor converted into a storefront. Barrels line the walls, filled with fresh tea leaves whose scents compete for your attention. I want to smell this place. Hey, we've got a lucky duck over here. I just about sold out of my world-famous matcha. I grind the tea leaves up myself. It takes so long, but it's soothing, not tedious. Kinda like meditation. So pleased with herself. Such a happy smile. Yeah, let's keep things logical and diplomatic for now, because we're getting a chord out of this, at the very least. Reconsider. Redraws your hand when played. That seems handy. Although this means we might stray into the Slay the Spire problem I have, where it's like, I do not remember what I can draw to. I don't know if this game allows you to look. I'm happy to just keep talking in this diplomatic manner. I sourced that he lives out from near Oldhurst. Not enough shade around here. The sun's too brutal. You ever been out that way? I swear, they won the climate lottery. But the sea will eat them first, so... Best smile, best grimace. That's just how it goes, huh? Pick up and move wherever it's still habitable. Who knows when the groundwater will run out here. Well, we haven't had any empathy out yet, but we don't really have a choice, so... Okay, so he reconsidered. I'm gonna observe, because it looks like we've still got plenty of conversation to go, so... That's handy. She's got a lot of, understand logic, respond. That's why I meditate. Only peace I get from watching the world die around me. So, Maxia? That's a bit of a head-breaking turn, Matilda. I like this person, though. Come see me again and maybe I'll read your fortune. If you're lucky. Matilda's Maxia smells incredible. You're lucky to have gotten some. Matilda promised to read our fortune if we return. Okay, well that's the third item we need for the store. And let's replace... Oh, actually, we've got... The redrawing your hand thing seems useful, but having something that can be responded to with logic or empathy seems super good as well, so I'll swap out there. And that just leaves Nadine to talk to. See if she's warming to us a bit more. At a small table outside the store, Nadine whisks Maxia in a tea bowl. Her motions are precise. Not a single drop spills. Your presence feels intrusive, like you've interrupted some personal ritual. Still here? Your final stop on the route will be Oldhurst. Some call it scenic. I don't care for it. The road is in poor condition more than most. Many travellers bypass Buchenbottle, but I enjoy their Maxia. And we're having a fairly nice conversation about things. They don't have an accord, so I don't necessarily want to... Actually, no, I do want to do this. Nadine's got a lot of triangles in her deck. Oh, well, not at the moment. Don't interrupt my tea time. Well, shit. Can't win them all. I guess we'll just hold pat with this. It is a really interesting change that you just always have to take on a card, and your deck doesn't just get bigger. Well, I guess we're moving on from Buchenbottle pretty quickly then. So we can still go to Onka, but I don't see the reason to. So let's do our last stop on the caravan after we just see what we've got. So there's our items. It's interesting, this is kind of how we're like almost tracking your progress, and we can see where people are as well. Or even we don't know, people are just where we left them. It's a really interesting way of tracking things. Okay, on to Oldhurst. Oh, we've got Diamond. Creative and industrious. How are we going to have a conversation with someone like that? With no diamonds in the deck. Oh, this looks very European. Exactly where I'd expect to find someone whose name is Aurora. Oldhurst. The central plaza bustles with families out enjoying the weather, weavers and rug makers in their open-air workshops, and old folks playing cravar in the shade. Bart only gets a couple days a year this mild. Okay, so Aurora is just looks to be selling their wares, and Nadine's asking us to come over, so my metagaming brain is like, Nadine wants us to come over so she can tell us that some people here don't talk in triangles and circles, and hopefully give us a card that works. Nadine, loading up her vehicle with pots of kimchi, whistles for your attention. It's hard to tell if the condescension is intentional or not. So you made it. The caravan splits here. I don't take greenhorns out towards Old Marais. Too dangerous for your maiden voyage. If you take the direct road back from here, you'll be fine. It's mostly downhill that direction. Scenic route, too. It's interesting that, like, some conversations have very limited space to go wrong, and the way I think I read this is like, along this timeline, we can get it wrong 3 times before the whole thing breaks down. Well, we basically only have the same response twice, so I think, okay, well, that helped us get we've now got an accord. This feels like a kind of a goodbye conversation, so I also don't know if our hand is drawn at the start of every conversation, because you almost want to hold some of these in your hand. Okay, a cordial conversation was had, at least to start. Speaking of liabilities, have you seen Ramir? Lost him around Clifton. Hope he's not getting into too much trouble. Well, we know he's off to Anchor. Listen, out of respect for your mom, I'm going to tell you something I probably shouldn't. Ever heard of the Rilkers? They're practically royalty in Old Marais, and got ties all over the place. Their word's law, and they've threatened to shut the caravan out of Old Marais if I don't drop Barto from the route. Now, I'm not one to bend so easily, but it does make things more complicated. Your store really needs to shine for the caravan to stand up to them. Okay, well let's clarify to get an accord. And I feel like a lot of conversations with Nadine go this way, where it starts out logical, and we kind of understand each other's point of view, and then return to business at the end, so I'm going to go for this. I know it doesn't really matter because it's a deck building game, but you know, when you leave things this open to interpretation, I'm gonna weave in my own narrative. Why this is happening now, I can't say. Could be your mom had some dirt on the Rilkers. Word is she had some run-ins with them in the past, and by all accounts, they're the type to hold grudges. Interesting. We've got some subplots going on. The timing could be better, but it's important you understand. Your mom, she was a complex woman. She had lots of opinions, and made a habit of making waves wherever she went. Not the easiest person to travel with. You follow this caravan's path, the same one your mom took, and you're bound to learn some things about her. Some good, some not so much. It's interesting because we obviously had that event earlier on where we could like go through her diary or some of her old notes, and we learned something from that. It's almost like it's warning us off from it. Okay, let's observe with this. Okay, we definitely need to end with some empathy here. looking at that. So let's give her the open-ended response. There we go. It's very satisfying, this game. As for you and me, I don't believe kids always take after their parents. That would be unfair. So don't start trouble, and there won't be none. Oh god, a little smile out of Nadine. I run this caravan so no one else has to, and I like it run a certain way. Safe. You're You're grateful to Nadine for telling you the whole story, even if you're not sure what to do with the info. We've endured the caravan route. Not really much to change there. I guess it isn't spelled out, but we went 3 for 3 on that conversation. Like, all of it went concordantly. So we get 3 cards to pick from. Whereas I think if it goes badly, we'd only get the 1, and that might force us into some shitty places. Okay, so Nadine is about to leave, so let's speak to Aurora and see how we navigate the creative and industrious symbol. Guess we have to use our special cards for this. The wooden door leading into Aurora's music store sticks in the frame. A helpful sign hangs in the window. Give it a push. As you enter, Aurora looks up from the guitar saddle she's filing down to give you a quizzical once-over. Let me know if you have questions about the merchandise. I'm Aurora, the founder and sole owner. If you play any instruments, please take off that jacket. All those buttons and zippers scratched into pieces. Okay, so we don't want to reply with any triangles because we know... I guess the implication is Aurora has no triangles in her deck. So... I guess I'm going to clarify to get an accord, because the accommodate could come in handy to replicate a diamond later on. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Further clarification. Okay, got through the first bit, okay. Ever played ukulele? I teach claw hammer. So called, because you make your hand like a claw. Hold it like so. Stiffen that strumming finger. Makes a nice sound, doesn't it? There's your first lesson. I've got to ask, have we met before? You look so familiar. Might be confusing you for one of my old students. You don't play guitar, do you? Oh, do we have all the wrong cards for this? Gonna break that accord pretty quickly. I think we've got 2 of these we can still have. I guess if we do this, because Aurora can join us some empathy onto it. I'm sorry, it's just, you look so awfully familiar. Can't quite place it. Strange, I'm usually pretty good with familiar faces. Now, I'm going to assume that she knows our mom. Oh no, this conversation's just breaking down. And she is not pleased. Not impressed with my work. Alright, well, if you're not going to buy anything, I need to close up to give a lesson now. That is some side-eye. That is some serious side-eye I've been given by Aurora. Maybe next time you'll find something you like. Aurora has a business to run. She ushers you out the door to start her cello lesson. Not much we could have done there, but we get to pick up some diamonds now. Okay. So we've got 4 cards that start with a triangle and 5 that start with a circle. So I'm going to get rid of a double empathy or a double circle. Still not really sure how to address all these parts of the deck. And that is Oldhurst. Let's move on. Okay, so we still have that thread with Aurora to pick up. We do have enough items for the caravan, I think. Yeah. Found all the items I need for the story opening. Even more wouldn't hurt as long as I still make it back in time. So, we've actually got loads of time still. Now we've been warned off Old Mirai, and we actually don't know the road. So, we can go on a long old trip to Anchor. Okay, day moves here, so we're currently on day 19. And if we go to Bartow, we get there day 25. If we go to Anchor, we get there day 34, and we've missed the reopening. There's no one to talk to in these cities. We can't actually get to Old Mirai, so let's just go to Bartow. We don't have any options really. Missing the reopening seems like it would be bad. Coming home to Bartow after time away feels strange, like someone rearranged your bedroom while you slept. All the same pieces are still here, mostly. But what's different and what's misremembered? There's no telling. Let's talk to Elias. You find Elias at home, sitting on the floor, surrounded by craft materials. Glue, markers, cardstock, thin polystyrene sheets. He looks exhausted. Hey! Look how I made it back in one piece. While you were gone, I made some for you can stock in the store. Bartow keyrings. People love souvenirs. Looks like you got plenty of stuff for the store already. But these will be popular. They'll make good mementos to help travellers remember Bartow. You don't owe me this time, haha. Unless they're really popular. Oh, and you won't believe what else I found while you were gone. Check it out, your mum's old locket. Oh, this is the one that we were not supposed to see. Let's keep things nice and empathetic for now. Nice, we got an accord. Let's see if we can end off with some logic. We get to observe as well for that. Don't worry, I won't get upset with you for taking it this time. In fact, I think you should. A good luck charm of your own. You might need it out on the road. Anyway, how's the caravan? Did Nadine say anything else about Bartow or your mom? You didn't have to break the news to anyone, did you? I bet rumours probably spread fast on the road. Okay, well, we know Elias has got some accommodation and some triangles, so we can do this and observe once more. Uh-oh. We got our creative side out. Let's clarify and make an accord. Actually, no, we don't need to do that yet. Oh no, this is the only way we can actually respond to this, so let's actually do that. You actually get Nadine to tell you more? That's impressive. You're a natural. I wonder what the Rilkers have got to do with your mom. They got ties all over the place from what I hear. No wonder they're able to pressure the caravan. Gotta say, Nadine kinda intimidates me, but maybe there's more to her than meets the eye. Oh, we have no responses for you. And I don't think we actually do have an accord. Let's just observe again. You must be tired. It's okay. Trips always take a lot out of me too. Okay, good. Now we have an accord. And we can... So we don't want him to use this triangle. We'd rather he used one of the circles, so let's use the open-ended one. Damn it, Elias. I don't know why I keep wanting to call this guy Caleb. Where am I getting that from? Well, let's get this out as one of the... Well, we might as well get this out of the deck, because it's the least useful. And then he can accommodate. I'm going to pretend I planned that. I always forget breaking the accord knocks things back by one. But at least it's out of the deck now. We've still got 2 fatigues there. I guess you have to be tough to make it out there on the road. Kind of like your mom was. Sounds like they butted heads. I'm still not sure I trust Nadine. Rilkers or no Rilkers, it'd be real bad for lots of people if the caravan stopped coming here. So, you know, no pressure on us. We've got to keep the store doing well, so there's no excuse for them to drop Bartow from the route. I did not... I should have realised this is... although we've got an accord, this means we start with the diamond, and there's no real way around that. I also don't know if I could have unpacked items first, but I got the sense if I did, I would miss the chance to speak to Elias. I have to say, I am enjoying this game. I think it's interesting, but it could definitely do with explaining things a bit more. So I'm finding myself confused a bit. I'm going to save the accommodate and just break things with fatigue for now. Oh right, you can't respond to fatigue with anything. Ah well, we're learning. I thought you'd be happier to see me again. Oh, fucking this up. He's probably got another circle in there. Getting a cord anyway. Let's accommodate, and then we can finish this conversation with this. Whatever. I won't make a fuss when Nadine comes around. Maybe. But she's not some authority on your mom. Elias is bursting with excitement over the store. Hopefully these keyrings will be a hit. Everyone's got keys, right? Just a fact of life. Okay, so we got locket and we've got some key rings. Seem a bit naff, if I'm completely honest with you. I'm gonna get rid of the second double logic and get an accommodate. Seems a bit more flexible. Okay, let's unpack the truck and see what happens. Welcome home, when everything's unpacked, let's hang out. Okay, well that tells me we're going to talk to Elias afterwards, but... You know, we've got some items in there. I think that means we got to ditch all our fatigue. Yeah. And we cycle back to day 1. It's interesting on the travel map that having to time all your journeys to get to the places you need to be in time kind of reminds me about around 80 days. Which is a game I've never finished because something about it just doesn't work with my brain. That's a nice image. You and Elias catch up, picking up right where you left off. You tell him about your first time in the quaint town of Oldhurst. He tells you how he's proud that he tells you how proud he is that the store's grand reopening was a success, praising you for stocking an impressive 4 items. That doesn't really sound as impressive as I think the game wants it to be. Will it be enough for the caravan to stand up to the Rilkers? Okay, so the roasted nuts are sold out. The conspiracy theorist almost forgot about his groceries while telling you about aliens in Bucamboro. So now we know about aliens in Bucamboro, or it's a conspiracy, so who knows. But I wonder if that means we can now have a conversation with someone about that there. A man wearing a hat and sunglasses brought a Bartow keyring, praising the artistry in a deep voice. The solar technician waxed poetic about the sun in Clifton while picking up his groceries. So now I know about another road. The hydroponic farmer brought the matcha to his study, hoping to improve his own tea crops. Okay, I like those little touches, just knowing who picks it up. I guess it's a way to mechanically give you more options, but I like those little snippets of life. A flock of mourning doves bunch up on a dormant power line, bending it beneath their weight. Little scuffles break out, miniature avian dramas raining down feathers. The road calls. So Nadine is here, Elias is here maybe? And then there's this Samuel guy he got some funky hair going on and some tattoos, which I'm a big fan of. So let's talk to Samuel first. Samuel's out back by the smoker, flipping an enormous rack of ribs with his bare hands. He's been in it so long he barely feels the flames. He wipes his greasy mitts on his apron and rushes over to give you a bear hug. There you are, kiddo. I was starting to think you'd forgotten about your old pal Samuel. Haven't seen you around so much lately. Not since the funeral. Respond with empathy. A nice early accord. And we can observe. Yep, losing your mom left a giant-sized hole in this town, that's for sure. Everyone here has been so down, including myself. I don't know why I'm doing voices, it just seems right. And the fact that business has been so slow around here lately, well, that don't help things much either. It's good to mourn, but let it go on too long, then it becomes a mope. That's not good. Not what your mum would have wanted. Been thinking, Bartow could really use a kickstart. Pick me up, if you will. Night of fun dancing right here at the Roadhouse to rejuvenate the town and hopefully even bring in some new customers. What is this accent? What do you think? I guess I didn't really talk about it, but like the main reason I'm reading everything out is A, so people who aren't able to see the screen for whatever reason can pick up on it. And two, it's going to stop me just clicking through the text really quickly and you can't see it. Okay, so he's got one triangle and he's got some circles. I think we want to respond with this one. We just want to put a circle down at the end, really. So let's do this. I already spoke to Elias about organising the show portion of the evening, and guess what? He was planning on doing a special performance. Didn't realise he knew how to play any instruments, but hey, that kid's full of surprises. I'm also going to be cooking up something special for the occasion. But, oh, that reminds me. I think it helped me stock up on my secret ingredient. I suspect this means we have to go to a specific town. So you can do circling to triangle and circling to triangle, and both of those are fine for us. Chatter allows you to immediately play another card. Ah, that's handy. Definitely want to be able to pick that one up. Ooh, 2 chatters. This man knows how to small talk. Around Raminda, this one fella ferments his own vinegar. Used to cook with when he lived out east. Taste can't be beat. Thanks, kiddo. It's so good to see you holding down the fort. I know it's hard, but we'll get through all this together. Okay, so Rimina is a new place we haven't been to, but I don't think it's on the caravan route, so We've got a few observe cards, so I'm definitely picking up this chatter one because that seems like really handy to get yourself out of a hole. Let's talk to Elias, and we'll talk to Nadine and set off. You locate Elias by following the sound of a woodwind instrument. He's standing on a rock, performing for an empty field. You've never seen him use an instrument in his life. I need your help. Samuel told you about the big event, right? We're going to pull in so many visitors who won't even need the caravan. Maybe. Definitely getting the sense that Elias is not pleased about us going on the caravan all the time. I'm going to perform, but I'm not a musician. I don't want to be sympathetic about that. Let's try and observe as well. Okay. So he can accommodate circle, circle, circle. So he's going to respond with a circle no matter what. So let's do this and get an accord going. Seriously, I only have this plastic recorder. I can't go on stage with this. I'd die right there on the spot. If you find any instruments on the road, please grab them for me. Not for free, of course. I'm good for it. Maybe you can find something at the big Oldhurst Cook-Off Festival. Mum used to bring back the best toys from that. I mean, I'm too old for toys now, of course, but they sell instruments there too. See, I think it's Aurora who sells instruments, and we fucked up that conversation last time, so... you're still all circles over here, so... But I can chatter and make this easy. In the meantime, I'll just practice with this recorder. Worst case scenario. Just remember you're not alone. We're doing what we can to keep this town on the caravan route too. His behaviour is unusual for Elias, this desperation for new experiences. Your promises alleviate his worries, at least for the moment. Okay, so we're definitely getting a shopping list that we need to get some stuff for. I definitely get the sense that Elias is like, oh, my best friend's just going on all these adventures and I have to stay in this kind of town that seems to be going nowhere quickly. I don't really want any of this, I don't think, but we have to take something. So I guess we can just keep things steady with accommodating and talk to Nadine. Nadine is checking in with caravaneers, kicking tyres and preparing for the road ahead. If you arrive at the caravan this time, it's the full route, no training wheels. Think you can handle that? I usually expect folks to be more experienced before taking them along. I'm making an exception here. I won't hold your hand, I can help around Romina, but I've got to look out for everyone else too. Okay, so Romina will be on the route. And we already can't respond to this. That's annoying. I guess we'll observe to try and fish ourselves out of this. Oh wow, Nadine's got squares and diamonds in there. It's up to you, but if you choose the caravan, you play by my rules. Okay. So we can only respond with this, but that should work fine. Come on, it duplicates both symbols of the previous card. I think I need to clarify here. And she can respond to the triangle. I actually really like the clarify card, not just from a mechanical point of view, but just narratively. Like, that's just a natural feature of language, is that if you have a misunderstanding and things begin to derail, you just go back and like, oh, when I said this, what I meant by that was X, when you've taken away Y. So, I like that one. The road from Oldhurst to Rimina is mountainous. Be prepared. I came by the store earlier. Not bad. If you keep this up, Barto may stay on the route after all. Believe it or not, I have faith in you. You made it to Oldhurst your first time out. It's a promising start. Oh man, we are not very well set up for this conversation, so I'm gonna accommodate here while I can and get the accord in. Okay, chatter seems handy. Okay, accommodate. Some things just don't work together as well as I think they do. Prepare. Choose which card from your deck you'll draw next. Oh, that seems very useful. Okay, we got through it. You know, you are welcome to ride with us, but I won't lie and say the caravan's always the easiest route. It's good for providing safety and expertise, but it's a long road. You'll get a good haul, but you'll be exhausted by the end. I'll get you there, but it's still on you to acquire the goods you need. Just remember, you can't please everyone, and you'll have a hard time on the road if you try to. She nods to herself as she gives her a once over and continues with her inspections. I mean, I think that probably speaks to the fact that I think I definitely want this prepare. I think accommodate is maybe not as good as I think it is. It definitely hints towards the fact that, like, we know there's another symbol to come in yet, and we need more diamonds, we need some squares. That I wonder if, like, you spread your deck too thin, you just won't be successful anywhere. And maybe you gear your deck towards, like, one or two symbols, and maybe a hint of a third. And you just have to ignore some of them. Okay, well, we've had our conversations, and we're ready to move on for our second trip. But I'm going to call it there. We've had a decently long stream. My throat also really hurts from being on phone calls all day at work. So I'm just going to wrap it up here and just protect my voice a little bit. So yeah, thank you for watching along, whether you're watching along live, or if you're watching this on a YouTube VOD, or some third option that I'm not aware of. But regardless of platform, if you want to follow or like or subscribe or any of that stuff, please do, but don't feel pressured. And thank you for giving some of your time up to spend it listening to me. And yeah, I hope you have a good evening, and I'm just going to do what I believe is just nice behaviour and raid somebody. I wonder if I just type in... Yes, I can send it to someone else who's playing this, so I'm going to send them to Alchemy Yeti, for anyone watching. So, thank you for your time everyone, and I hope you have a lovely evening, morning or afternoon. Stay safe out there.